A strange wolf breed that was believed to be extinct has recently reappeared. Reviving an endangered animal species is no easy task, and it's rare for population levels to bounce back after years of decline. This is especially true in the case of the California gray wolf, whose numbers have dwindled to the low thousands. But with their numbers threatened, one wolf pack made a bold move to ensure their safety, and it gave officials way more than they bargained for. Of course, nobody saw this coming. If you were hiking through a remote part of California a few years ago, you might have been warned about grizzly bears, but the chances of coming face to face with any other potentially dangerous animals, especially wolves, wasn't all that likely. In fact, coming across an actual wolf sounds fairly far-fetched to a regular tourist or hiker. In the early 1920s, though, this was a different story. Back then, wolves prowled California's remote forests and farms alike. Because of this, farmers and wolves were constantly at odds. Farmers often hunted wolves in hopes of avoiding a barnyard massacre. They couldn't have known then the damage they were inflicting, and not just on the wolves. In 1924, the very last gray wolf was killed. For the next 90 years, California didn't have any wolves in that area that could support up to 500 of them. Unbeknownst to farmers, the species' absence shifted the balance on the ecosystem they used to inhabit. Wolves kept elk and deer in check, which helps vegetation not get overeaten. That vegetation provides nesting habitat for migrating birds and building material for beavers, which create ponds for fish and frogs, said biologist Amarok Weiss. And this domino effect was not only noticed by biologists. See, if something good came out of the mass wolf killings in the 20s, it was that the negative effects alerted researchers nationwide to the dwindling population of gray wolves. So, in 1975, the gray wolf received federal endangered species protections. But there weren't any wolves left to protect. That is, until 2011, when one lone gray wolf wandered into Siskiyou County from Oregon. Biologists were stunned by the sudden reemergence. Without a pack to lead or to protect him, this endangered wolf had traveled into an entirely new state and immediately became an icon. Though biologists designated him OR7, activists named him Journey in honor of his daring cross-state trek. A GPS collar tracked and recorded his personal hike, as well as his encounters with other animals. According to his GPS collar, Journey found a mate, likely another migrated wolf, and added 5 pups to the state's gray wolf population. He then migrated back to Oregon and fathered more pups. Seemed like those were the last wild wolf pups California would ever see. It was believed that, as of 2015, the population of wild gray wolves in California was an alarmingly small number, 7. Since 2 of the 7 wolves were wearing GPS collars, biologists thought that enough of the state's wolves were being tracked. So imagine the biologist's shock when in 2019, 2 adult wolves were seen caring for 3 young pups in California. Biologists had no idea these wolves were even there, let alone that they were having pups. Even more unexpected was the way biologists discovered the pack. The pack was seen hunting and resting on a trail camera in a remote part of Lassen County. The 3 pups snacked on grass and howled at each other before passing through. Though it only lasts a minute, the footage created a huge stir in the environmental community. Having wolves return to California is one of the most significant environmental developments in conservation in the state, Weiss asserted. This sounds like triumphant news for conservationists and activists everywhere, but some people are far from happy about the wolves' return. Farmers and hunters have always tried to subdue the wolf population in California in order to protect their valuable sheep and cattle, and this didn't change when California's Fish and Game Commission granted gray wolves special protection under the state's Endangered Species Act in 2014. Now that the population seems to be slowly ratcheting upwards, farmers are once again in fear of their livestock being hunted. When California's Farm Bureau Federation took the matter to court, the fate of the wolves was put in jeopardy. Farmers weren't the only group threatening California's wolf population either. The federal government, too, pushed to remove gray wolves from the endangered species list, meaning they would no longer benefit from federal protection. Everything, it seemed, would all come down to the lawsuit. In the end, the consensus among the scientific community and the court was clear. No matter what happened at the federal level, California's gray wolves would be protected under state law. In a perfect world, this would keep the gray wolves safe from hunters. If they're coming from the Oregon side of the border or from Nevada, once they sit a paw down in California, they're protected, Weiss said. But these idealistic words would not become a reality anytime soon. Last year, a California-born wolf pack mysteriously vanished in remote Siskiyou County. Since biologists weren't able to collar any pack members, they may never know what happened to the pack. What's more, they're not the only mystery to plague California's Department of Fish and Wildlife. They're also investigating the death of a young wolf that was mysteriously killed in Modoc County. It was handled as a criminal investigation, and the police warned the public that killing a wolf is a potential crime punishable with imprisonment. These tragic events only make the recent pack sighting on the trail camera all the more inspiring. Despite the resistance from the farming community, biologists remain hopeful that the wolves will one day lead many wild packs across California and beyond. Of course, wolves' interactions with humans could leave them forever changed. Please share this with your friends and family.